Hey, what is up guys, and welcome to another Honkai Star Rail video. Alright, so today's video is going to be more of casual content for Honkai Star Rail. I'll basically be going over my account progression within the last month of playing Honkai Star Rail, as well as showing you how far I progressed in last seasons of Memory of Chaos. So for last season's Memory of Chaos, I managed to clear the first 5 stages with a total of 9 stars, which is okay. It's better than the season before this, where I only was able to clear it up to 2 stars, and only up to the 3rd stage, which I wasn't even able to clear. I was around Trailblazer level 42 at the time, and my Ting Young was just too squishy, so she kept dying on the 3rd stage. But for last season, I reached around Trailblazer level 53, I believe, by the time this season ended. And my characters were fairly leveled up, so they could survive all the way until at least stage 5. I did try to attempt stage 6, but I ran into 2 issues. The first issue was one of my DPSs died. I forgot which one it was. It was either Dan Hung or Cervo, within the last couple of turns remaining on that stage. And I think even if they did survive, I probably would have ran out of turns before I was able to clear the stage. So it was both a survivability issue as well as a DPS check issue. Either way, I believe 9 stars is pretty decent for where my account currently is. Alright, and now for my account progression thus far. I'm currently Trailblazer level 54, halfway through. As for my characters, this is my Fire Trailblazer at level 65. It's funny because I basically used up the majority of my level up material, and at this point, pretty much forced, or at least encouraged, to do the daily EXP farming route, since I don't really want to spend too much Trailblaze power farming EXP material. These are his stats overall. In more detail, he is very slow, unfortunately. I could not find good speed boots for him, and I'll show you his relics in a moment. He's using day 1 in my new life for his Lycone. Currently not leveled up to max. I don't have the trace material. Struggling on that front as well. His traces are fairly unleveled. I don't think he needs that much investment in his trace levels. The only reason why these two are so high level is because I have his, what are these, Eidolons, so it's a +2 for both. As far as relics, I'm running a 4-piece Knight of Purity Palace for the defense and shield durability boost. And then surprisingly enough for his planar ornaments, I'm running this 2-piece set, which gives him max HP, but he doesn't get the secondary benefit because he's not fast enough, unfortunately. And this is why speed is somewhat important on most of your support characters. Actually, it's very important. It's just unfortunate that I don't have a good pair of speed boots for him, so instead I am running this defense main stat boots for him at the moment. These are his Eidolons, of course, up to E5. Alright, let's move on to Bailu, level 64. These are her stats. She, however, is fast enough because I managed to find a pretty good pair of speed boots for her. I'll show you guys in a moment. Light Cone, she's still using a level 40 Quid Pro Quo because I haven't had the time or resources to upgrade one of the better Abundance Light Cones I have. I'll probably be putting either this one, Post-Op Conversation, or Perfect Timing on her as one of the Light Cones. But for now, this is what she has. Traces, I haven't gotten to it as well. I actually haven't gotten a chance to level up any of my traces for any of my characters because I'm currently working on Zilei's Lycone, and then after that I'll be working on Dan Hung's Lycone. For her relics, she's running the 2-piece set for outgoing healing. I want to give her a 4-piece Musketeer, but obviously I don't have the correct pieces currently. It's quite difficult, unfortunately. Oh, actually, her speed boots are quite bad. These used to be on my March 7th, because I just wanted to put some speed for whatever stupid reason. I kind of regret leveling up these pair of boots, but it's already been done, so I just put it on my Bailu for the extra speed. But yeah, that's how I got her to reach at least 120 speed to get the secondary effect for this set on her planar ornaments, as well as her link rope. This is her chest piece. It's probably a pretty decent Musketeer set for any future healers I plan on running, so currently keeping that for now. And then her glove piece is unleveled because she doesn't need to do damage, and obviously I'm probably going to replace this with a 5-star or orange piece later on. We take a look at her planar or link rope. It's HP percent with some decent substats. Probably going to replace this really soon. And this one just has the correct main stat, but the substats are pretty bad for Bailu herself. No Eidolons, unfortunately, or obviously, because I didn't pull a duplicate of her. Alright, Ting Young. The character who keeps dying on every single Memory of Chaos run. I'm pretty sure you guys who have Ting Young already know the pain of trying to keep this character alive. She is so much squishier compared to my other characters. If we take a look at her stats, let's just compare them to some of my damage dealers. She has 2000 HP and close to 800 defense. Take a look at Cervo. She has 2.3k HP and around the same amount of defense. Zeta, a little bit more HP, a little bit more defense. Danhong, about the same. Danhong's probably just as squishy as Ting Young. So she's basically on the same boat as my damage dealer in terms of durability. So that's not really a good thing considering I need her to be alive in order to buff my characters as well as get at least 1 star for that Memory of Chaos stage. She has quite a bit of speed because I do have the Musketeer set on her, fully completed. Or at least completed to a certain degree. And her light cone is past and future. The free-to-play light cone up to Super Imposition 3. I haven't gotten it to level 60 yet, or even level 70 because I want to prioritize on my damage dealers and tanks first before I work on Ting Young. Same goes for her traces. Might have put a little bit too much investment on her traces, so I probably won't be touching these for a very long time. These are her relics, like I said, a full Musketeer set. Very useful on Ting Young. She has decent speed boots. They're purple, but, I mean, it gets the job done, so these are going to be what I'm putting on her for the time being. We take a look at her planar ornament and link rope. She's running the 2-piece set for the HP percent and the attack boost to all allies. This is actually a pretty decent link rope for her. Unfortunately, most of it rolled into crit damage. I would have preferred speed or even defense just to keep her alive a little bit longer, but it's not bad for what I currently have. As for her... Oh, and by the way, she actually wants a, what do you call it? Energy regeneration rope, but I only have one of those at the moment. I don't really think energy regeneration is going to have much value until you're able to get that energy regeneration rope to at least plus 12 or higher. And the only time you want to upgrade your link rope that high is if it has the correct substats along with the correct set. And I currently don't have any of those, so I don't... Even if I do, let me show you guys where my energy regeneration rope is. Okay, so it's this piece right here. And it's the defense set, which obviously I don't want to be putting on my Ting Young. And the substats overall, they're okay. It's missing speed, attack percent, and effect resist are pretty decent on Ting Young. But personally, I don't think this one is worth upgrading just a slot on my Ting Young at plus 9 or maybe even plus 12. I'm just going to wait until I get a energy regeneration rope with the correct set and decent substats. If need be, I might even use my condensed resin to craft one later on in the future. But for now, I'm just going to settle for this attack percent. It works perfectly fine on Ting Young. As for her planar sphere, it's attack percent. For the 2-piece set, that gives you HP. Missing speed, but other than that, the substats, other than of course effect hit rate, are pretty solid on Ting Young as well. As for Eidolons, unfortunately, like those of you who saw my summoning video, did not pull a single copy of her on Jing Yuan's banner. Very unfortunate. Alright, now we move on to Cervo, who is my AoE damage dealer. These are her stats. Don't laugh at her crit rate. I was unable to get a crit rate chest piece for her. Or, I do have two, but I put them on my Zeta and Danhong. So, yeah, Cervo's just going to have to deal with her crappy crit rate for now. For her light cone, I'm using Make the World Clamor. At level 60, I'm probably going to stop upgrading this light cone, and I'm going to switch to the free-to-play one, which is this one. The Seriousness of Breakfast, and probably level this up all the way to level 70, as well as superimpose it. These are her traces. I put quite a bit of investment in my Cervo's traces. Maybe a little bit too much, although she is my AoE damage dealer. But I probably shouldn't be putting too much investment into her traces going forward. Now we take a look at her relics. I managed to farm at least a 2-piece for the lightning set. And I paired it along with a musketeer set. And it's pretty much almost as good as a 4-piece of this, because you just lose out on 8% attack. And this attack buff is only for 1 turn anyways, and you're forced to use your skill in order to get the buff. Versus a musketeer set, the attack buff is always permanent on the character. Oh, and she has speed boots, because the other pair of attack percent boots that I got on her, they were pretty bad. So I just decided to go with speed as the main stat on her boots. And for the chest piece, yeah, I'm using attack percent with no crit rate. It's pretty bad. I mean, it's got a lot of break effect, but I prefer the crit rate chest piece. But RNG for you right there. Oh, another reason why the speed boots are actually slightly better is because I'm running a 2-piece attack percent set on her. and she actually needs to reach a certain speed threshold in order to get more attack. So it's not too bad. This planar sphere is okay. Correct main stat, no crit rate. It's got decent attack and some hit rate that she can use. And then for her link rope, she's got attack percent. And yeah, it's really bad substats. I just use this because it's the correct main stat as well as the correct set. So I'm able to make this two-piece attack percent set on her. Overall, decent relics on Cervo. Could be better. Definitely will be able to improve later on. No Eidolons yet, but hopefully I'm able to get at least 1 or 2 copies of her on the Silver Wolf banner. We'll see what happens when the time comes. Alright, and now we get into Zeta, who is probably the strongest character on my account. Not just because she's a 5-star, but also because I gave her my best gear as well. Take a look at her stats. Decent amount of crit rate, respectable, at least compared to my other characters. And for her light cone, of course cruising the Stellar Sea, I actually have enough material to get it to level 70 and 5-star, but I held off because I wanted to show you an accurate representation of my account during the time when I cleared Memory of Chaos. So I could actually get this up, and I will, right after I finish with this video. So we got that going for her. Her traces, which I will be working on first out of all my other characters. I haven't started yet, but I know it's going to be a huge credit drain and huge resource drain as well. For her relics, they're okay. She has a 2-piece musketeer set. Everything else is just completely offset and random. I managed to get attack percent boots, but literally on the worst freaking possible set. The substats are actually pretty decent. They're okay. She doesn't need the effect hit rate, but if I ever need to put this on, let's say, Cervo, maybe even Dan Hung, they can use the effect hit rate, and it has a decent crit rate chance and a decent crit damage chance. If it had speed as one of the substats, then it'd just be a pretty solid placeholder boots for any damage dealer, but for now, I'm probably going to keep this at +9. Now her chest piece, this might be the best chest piece relic I have for any character. It's crit rate on the musketeer set with both attack and crit damage as the substats, and it rolled into both of these at least once or twice. It rolled once in an effect hit rate, but that's fine. It's good on certain characters. Actually, this would be insane on my Cervo. If I ever find a better chest piece for Zeta later on, with like the Quantum set, I'll probably just give this piece to my Cervo. And then Cervo can finally have good gear. Finally. As for her planar sphere, it's a quantum damage boost sphere that I got very early on. This actually was one of the reasons that led me to pulling Zeta, because I was like, okay, I have a 5-star orange quantum damage boost piece. Even though it's offset, I can still put it on Zeta. And the substats are okay. It's got attack percent and crit damage, no crit rate, unfortunately. I'm going to keep it at +9 and wait for a better quantum damage boost sphere later on in the game. As for her link rope, she's got a attack percent link rope with a pretty good set. It's the crit rate set, and it has crit rate in the substats along with speed. And it actually rolled in a crit rate and speed once each, and then effect resist. Actually, yeah, it rolled in the effect resist once, crit rate once, and speed once. And I believe it rolled effect resist as the 4th substat. It's an okay link rope. It's definitely not bad. It's not going to +15 by any means, I believe. But this is going to be transferable between many characters later on when I keep building them. And of course for Eidolon, she's at E0 because, well, yeah, you guys know. Alright, next is Danny Boy. Basically, he got all the second-rate gear that my Zeta didn't use. Poor Danny. Poor Dan Hung. Decent stats. I kind of wish the crit rate was a little bit higher, but it's the best I could do for now. For his light cone, he's running only Silence Remains. It's an okay light cone, and I'm probably going to get it to level 70 just for the extra stats. But if I ever pull a better light cone from the gacha, such as Swords Play or Subscribe for More, I'd probably be running that over this, because it offers a straight-up damage boost instead of a mediocre attack percent boost and situational crit rate. Yeah, I believe those 2 other light cones would definitely provide more consistent damage for my Dan Hung, but I can't really rely on pulling either of those light cones right now, so this is the best we got, so I'll settle for it. These are his traces. I haven't started working on them yet. Probably will after I finish my Zeta, but for now, he's a little bit underinvested into in terms of traces. His relics are kind of a mess. They're actually pretty bad, now that I look at it. He's using these pair of boots, which is offset, But it is attack percent, and for some reason, I was actually able to make a defense set with this piece and his chest piece. His chest piece is actually the insane one. It is a crit rate chest piece with attack percent, crit damage, and break effect. The only thing it's missing is speed. And it actually rolled into both attack percent and crit damage multiple times. If only this chest piece was a on-set chest piece. I would have been really happy if this was on the lightning set rather than the defense set, but that's just RNG for you. It's going to be a good broken chest piece for most of my damage dealers for a good while, but I don't think this is going to go past plus 12 anytime soon or ever in the future. I don't know, they might release a damage dealer in the future that scales purely off of defense. That would be really interesting, so I might actually keep this chest piece for the long run and just never like use it for EXP material. I think that'd be a pretty decent call. Yeah, if they ever do release a defense scaling damage dealer, then I'll be pretty happy to have this chest piece right here. He's currently using a purple wind damage boost planar sphere on a pretty bad set in my opinion. I mean, break effect is nice on certain characters, but the amount of speed in order to get the second effect is absolutely insane. 145 speed. You'll basically need to be running speed boots, at least orange speed boots, maxed up to at least plus 12 or higher with really good speed substats. So this is definitely not a set I'm going to be running anytime soon on any of my characters. And then for his link rope, it's an attack percent link rope with really bad substats, but the only reason I'm actually running this link rope on Dan Hung is because it has a decent amount of speed as the substats, and I wanted to get him to a fair amount of speed. I believe I said I wanted 120 or higher. Not even for a set, just so he's not too slow, because you don't want your damage dealers to be really slow, unless, no, yeah, you just never want your damage dealers to be ridiculously slow. You want them to be at a moderate speed, not too fast, so they don't consume all of your skill points, but at least fast enough to a point where they can do enough damage within a certain amount of turns. So that's why I'm currently running this link rope on my Dan Hung. As for Eidolons, I actually got him to E2. I think I just pulled random copies of Dan Hung from the standard banner, or from the first 50 beginner summons as well. So yeah, he's at E2. E2, Dan Hung is pretty strong. His talent cooldown is reduced by 1, and it actually does make quite a bit of difference. And you'll notice a slight boost in his damage overall. I'd be pretty happy too if I got him to E3 and managed to pull 1 or 2 copies from him on the Silverwolf banner. But once again, we gotta wait until I actually pull on that particular banner. Alright, and now we go into March 7th. My favorite character, Kappa. I say that because I have her at E6, and I'm still salty about all those copies of March 7th that I pulled on Jing Yuan's banner. Anyways, these are her substats. And for her light cone, I am running the best in slot light cone for her, which is Moment of Victory. Currently at level 60, but I do plan on getting this to level 70 and upgrade it to 5-star. It is absolutely insane on both Japard and March 7th because they both benefit from the defense percent and the effect hit rate. For her traces, they're pretty low level other than this one because she's at E6, so I get 2 levels on top of that. For the other skills, I kind of just ignore them because she just gets more damage. It doesn't increase the effect hit rate on her ultimate, so I don't see the point of upgrading this anyways. Yeah, I'm probably going to ignore her traces overall. She doesn't really need it, in my opinion. For her relics, they're pretty solid. Managed to get a 4-piece defense set, as well as the shield durability increase. For her boots, unfortunately, I was not able to get speed on her again. Actually, these are just my Fire Trailblazers defense boots that I passed down to her after getting a better orange tier. For my Fire Trailblazer, I just gave her the hand-me-down. I'm running the 2-piece HP percent and attack boost to all allies set for her Planar Sphere and Link Rope, because I don't really have a good 2-piece set for the defense one, which she wants, because that defense set, I believe, gives you defense and effect hit rate. Let me take a look. Yeah, it gives you both defense and effect hit rate, which she greatly benefits. Or no, it doesn't give you effect hit rate. It gives you even more defense if you have a certain amount of effect hit rate, which she does because she gets a lot of effect hit rate from Japard's Light Cone. So I would like to be running that set, but I don't have the pieces for it, so this is obviously the second best option. And this piece is okay, it gives effect hit rate. All the other substats other than HP are meh, she doesn't really deal damage. For this defense piece, good amount of effect hit rate, crit rates, whatever. It would have been a really good piece if it rolled more into HP percent and effect hit rate, but I think I'll settle for this as well. Overall, okay relics on March 7th. And of course, this is what makes my March 7th so strong. All her Eidolons, all the way up to 6. Actually, not even 6. 6 is like probably a whatever Eidolon. You don't really need this. Her strongest power spike is at Eidolon 5. It basically completes her. 4 changes her to a completely different character, but 5 just gives her that last boost to her skill and her talent, which in my opinion are 2 of the strongest parts of her kit. Okay, and now for the last character in my roster, which is Natasha, my second healer. At level 63, here are her stats. For her light cone, she's just temporarily using Landau's choice because I don't have the resources or time to give her a proper abundance light cone. Like I said before, she's either going to get this or perfect timing. I'll decide which one goes on Bailu and which one goes on Natasha when the time comes. But for now, I'm just giving her Landau's choice for the high base stats because I already got to level 50. And I don't really want to put this on my preservation characters because they have better light cones. These two are just better than Landau's choice. So just a temporary slot holder for Natasha. Traces got them to a good enough level. I'm probably not going to upgrade her basic attack and her talent anytime soon. Probably never her basic attack, and her talent is going to be a while before I do that. Just going to mainly focus on her ultimate and then her skill. As for relics, she's running a 4-piece, surprisingly enough, Pacifier of Wanderer Cloud, which is the outgoing healing boost one, as well as the set that gives you an extra skill point at the beginning of the battle. The set's not that great, obviously. For all your healers, the best set you can get is the Musketeer set, because it gives you speed. Funny thing with Natasha's gear is, if you take a look at her boots, she has literally the best speed boots for any healer if these boots were a Musketeer set. The main stat is perfect because it's speed, and the sub-stats other than the effect hit rate, but you never know, there might be a healer later on. Oh, actually, Luocha can use effect hit rate. But yeah, basically, all the other substats, HP, HP percent, and defense percent, great for survivability on your healer. And they even rolled into HP percent. It rolled into flat HP once, which is kind of annoying, but the HP percent is just great on all healers. It's just a little bit annoying that the set is not the greatest. It's usable, by no means it's not usable on your healers. It's a good set for your healers specifically, but if it were on the Musketeer set, it'd just be universally better. But I guess that'd be too RNG carried for me at that point. Anyways, really good pair of boots. Really happy that I got this regardless. We take a look at her Planar Sphere and Link Rope. She's running HP percent with the max HP boost, as well as the attack boost to all allies 2-piece set. And this would have been an amazing Planar Sphere had it not rolled into flat defense. These substats are literally the best substats you can get on your healer. Speed, effect resist, and defense percentage, at least, are the best substats for your healer. Add in, I guess, flat HP, it would have been even better, but it decided to roll into flat defense because this game hates me, and my relic RNG has just been piss poor overall. Feels bad. She's just using a purple link rope temporarily. Eventually, when I get a orange one with HP percent as a main stat, I'll probably just replace it. For her Eidolon, surprisingly enough, she's only Eidolon 2. I thought she was at a higher Eidolon because I did pull on the Zeta banner. So I guess I only got 2 copies of her on the Zeta banner. Up to E2, both her Eidolons for 1 and 2, they're okay. They're nice to have, but obviously not necessary. So that doesn't really make her much of a stronger character in my opinion. Okay guys, well that's going to be it for this Honkai Star Rail video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, or join if you wish to support my channel even further. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next Honkai Star Rail video. Peace!